I'm Beth Perrell. Coming up soon is a free community event that stresses the importance of a healthy mind and body. We will hear about Smile from Within taking place on March 11th with JT Hassell, NFL player and founder of the Hassell Foundation, Stanley Brizz, executive director and addiction counselor with Brevard Prevention Coalition, and Tara Gibson with All Black Impact Foundation. Thanks to all of you for joining us here today. And JT, I'm going to start with you. I mentioned you're an NFL player. That's how people know you, but you are hometown from Titusville, grew up there, and that's where you started to focus on the issues that the Hassell Foundation focuses on?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So nice to be with you today. Thank you for having me here. But yes, I started the Hassell Foundation, being from Titusville, Florida, growing up in that city. I dealt with a lot of my friends either passed away or are locked up at the moment. And that bothered me a lot mentally. So growing up with that was very tough. And my disability, I was born with a disability. So that was very tough for me growing up, being bullied and going through those obstacles. And, it doesn't matter where you grow up or who you are. We all go through stuff, whether we're 5 years old or 42 years old. And that's kind of what made me wanted to start the Hassell Foundation, And the Hassell Foundation is basically, it empowers and educates the youth on mental health. And I don't only do the football aspect of it, but I mean, that's what drives it, because I did make it to the NFL after everything I've been through. And, kids love sports. That's all they know growing up. That's all I knew. That was my only way to make it out of Titusville growing up. And I'm so thankful for the sport, but I'm also so thankful for, my parents and the great mentors and coaches and teachers that I had growing up, to keep me in line.
So is that really where you're coming from? Is that you did have some help with those things that you were going through and young people go through? And I think a lot of young people feel I don't have the support. And is that kind of what you're saying? It's there?
Yeah. And that's just being a kid. That's how I felt as a kid. Like I knew I had help, but I didn't always listen to the help, or I was very afraid to ask for help. And, being a man, an older man, adult man, or a younger man, we're very stuck on our pride a lot of the times. And the way I was raised up is if you fall down, get back up, don't ask for help, do everything yourself. Like you can handle it, whatever you go through. But, we're in a different time and age nowadays where it's okay. It was always okay, but now it's, the awareness is there that it's okay to reach out for help. And I wanted to be that person, one of those people, to be able to come back and show the kids that it's okay to reach out for help. I'm 27 years old and I just started reaching out for help, and it's probably the best thing I've ever done in my life. It's saved me from so many things.
And I have to say that one thing that I think is powerful too is you definitely, as a young person, need help to get through these. Mm-hmm. But how often, as a young person or an old person, do you go, I know that my friend or my loved one needs help? Mm-hmm. Like those friends that you grew up with, and letting mm-hmm. them know that it's okay to get that help.
Right. I think that's the toughest thing, is because like even myself, like I'm so enclosed and introverted that it's hard for me to talk about my problems with anybody else. And just the privacy and security feeling of, do I really want to tell this person my problems? Because I don't know how they're going to judge me or how it's going to come off to them. But, over time, like the more I've opened up to friends and family and actually reached out for help, like I said, it's helped me in so many ways. And even I have friends and family that has been doing the same. And I feel like it's just like practice football. The more you do it, the better you become at it. Mm-hmm. And the easier it is, to do. Even with speaking, like I used to hate speaking. Miss Tara knows I hated speaking. Then the more I did it, openly, I started doing motivational speaking. Now I'm able to go and talk to kids at high schools and stuff. It's just a blessing. But I think the more you do it, the more comfortable you will become. But it's definitely not easy.
Well, and those young people are watching you and they're saying, oh, okay, that's how you do it. Like you're modeling the message.
Right.
Yeah. Well, so when you started this foundation, mm-hmm. What were your plans for it and what has it become?
So at first, I've seen a lot of other guys in the NFL and just sports guys that had foundations and businesses and all this stuff. So it was kind of, at first it was kind of, the football route, the basic professional thing to do, professional player thing to do is create something to where kids can go and attend. But then, I've always thought bigger, and I always knew I had a purpose. And in my heart, I just felt like I needed something bigger. So, talking to Miss Tara and working with her has been awesome. Over time, I was trying to figure out, like, what can I do that's different, that can actually have an impact, and not just teaching kids how to be a professional NFL player. Then COVID year came, and, like I said earlier, I was so introverted, and it was so hard for me to reach out for help. After 26 years of my life, everything finally just hit me. And, I broke down mentally, and I started having anxiety and bad panic attacks. And at that moment, it was very tough to go through, but I understood that that was something that I needed to help. And that was something that I could, me going through my problems is something that I can share with other people that go through the same things. But them seeing me in their eyes as an NFL player, they probably think, my life is perfect. Like, I wake up every day and have this perfect life. But honestly, like I said earlier, it doesn't matter how much you make, where you work, what you do, where you live. Like, we all go through problems daily, and it's all about how you adjust to it.
Tell us about the Smile from Within event. How did that come about?
Miss Tara actually reached out to me, and we've done so many things together. That event itself has been one of our biggest events. Last year at the camp, we had over 500 attendees, and the kids just love it as we're going into our third annual one. And it's not about me. It takes, like, my name is on a lot of the stuff just because it's football related, but it takes a village. Or sports talk, it takes a football team to win a game. It's never just one person. And working with Miss Tara and All Black, and working with Stanley with Moving in the Light, that is everything. That is where we all come together and create an even bigger platform, not just my NFL platform, but that's where the teamwork comes in. And we have so many different aspects of Smile from Within camp. Like, for the a usual football camp, you would go there and do football stations. But here at Smile from Within camp, we have yoga stations. We have SPCA coming out with animals. We do all sorts of stuff that involves with mental health. And also, sorry I missed her, but Miss Kamara, we're adding the cheerleader aspect to it, so that way we can add young girls in it also, so they don't feel left out.
Really good. And I mentioned that it's taking place on March 11th.
Yes,
and Tara, we've talked so much about you. Do you mind if I ask you the next question then?
Sure, I'm all for it. Let's go.
Yeah, let's talk about All Black Impact Foundation and why you're a part of this. And, how did you make that connection with JT?
Yeah, for sure. And again, thank you for having us. We're really excited to be here and share, what we're doing in our community to make it healthier and make it better. And we definitely shout out to Stanley, who's partnered with us this year. We're really excited about everybody. Like JT said, it takes a whole football team to do this. And we were really excited last year after our event when they had another event too. They're moving to a light event when we were approached, hey, let's combine efforts, right? And so in doing so, and working with JT, during 2020, our COVID year, we had a lot of time at home, and it's always been something on my heart, to start a nonprofit. And that time gave me time to really work on it and build it out. We actually started with an LLC first because we felt like we can hit the ground running with that LLC. And then because the nonprofit application takes, up to it took us 6 to 8 months to get that federal clearance, but we finally did get it. So we have the LLC and we have the nonprofit division. So, but in working with both of those, our mission is to, because I have a sports background, because I love sports, because I played college basketball, did some semi-pro, I understand too, with being a coach, the impact, the power of my platform that I have, because I've had so many parents come up to me, hey, can you talk to Johnny? Because when I talk to him, he doesn't listen, but when you talk to him, you say the same exact thing. It's like, oh my gosh, the parting of the Red Sea. Like he really gets it. And so in launching our business, we know we needed to attach ourselves with a brand ambassador, someone that has a platform, a great influence, and that align with our vision. And that's when I was doing research and I ran across JT. I'm like, wow, this guy is right here in Titusville, and I'm like, let me reach out to him, talk to him, get a vibe for him, and see, what his vision are, what his goals are, what he's trying to do to impact his community. He knew the vision he wanted to do, but because he's so busy with his career and focusing on his career, we're the kind of people that go behind the scenes that build everything out for him so that he can just focus on career, but still have his hand in the community at the same time. And that's kind of where we come in with him. We work with him, as you can see, closely. And not only did we develop the Smile from Within, but we've helped develop his brand as well, got him out of his shell. I mean, he is speaking. I am so proud of him. And I hope he don't get mad for this, but he's back in school to finish his degree. I'm like, boy, you better do it. It's just so exciting to see him grow. And honestly, like he said, like he's really started breaking out of his shell in the last 2 years, that he just really started breaking out of his shell. So it's just been a blessing to be a part of his growth. He's helped our business as well. I'm here because of him, talking to you guys and stuff like that. So it's just an iron sharpens iron type of thing. And we're just really, truly thankful to be a part of it.
And so you are a sponsor for the Smile from Within event. What would you like to say about it and what will happen that day?
Yeah, we're really excited because we're looking forward to, we combine with, Brevard Prevention Coalition, and we're like, we have 500 people last year. Let's, come together. We're going to double it, right? That's what we're like, we're combining resources, combining efforts and networks and stuff like that. So we're really looking for a great lineup of people. We have something specifically for the kids. Like JT said, we did at cheer with Kamari. She's a former NFL cheerleader. So she's going to volunteer and do that cheer portion for us. And we're expecting over, 400 kids to come out, as well as we're going to have the piece for the adults, so the community and kids that aren't, sports related or not participating in the camp, something for them to do. So it's going to be a really great balance. There's plenty of room, plenty of space. And, all we need is the weather to not be bipolar and work out. And it's going to be a great time.
And now, Stanley, I want to bring you in. You are again with the Brevard Prevention Coalition. What is the connection?
So yeah, once again, it's great to be here. This has got me all jazzed and excited. I love the collaboration. So Brevard Prevention Coalition is something that I really got kicked off in about 2017, 2018. Before that, it wasn't an official organization. It was more like a committee, different community organizations getting together to talk about the impact of substance misuse in our community. And then since the opioid crisis, it has just become even bigger, more of an important thing to address. So we formalized it and made it an actual organization. And our goal really is to remove the stigma of talking about substance misuse and mental health issues. JT hit it right there as a nail on the head, talking about that. So many people are ashamed in our communities to even mention that it's in their families, much less if they're struggling with it. It takes a lot to get people to say that they need help. And so the whole goal of our Move Into Light event last year was really getting resources out into the community so that people knew, hey, you can come here and get some food and pick up some resources. You can talk about it, get connected to help. We had music, we had people talking, speakers, and Tara supported that event. And as we got to talk about it, she said, hey, this really aligns very well. And maybe we can combine forces, as she mentioned earlier, and make this a bigger event with larger impact. And so as a coalition, we're out every day. Brevard Prevention Coalition, we're talking to pharmacies, doctors, we're in the schools. We did a basketball event a few months ago to get kids involved with that. We brought out a celebrity basketball player to do that. And so really just trying to get to the people and to the youths, especially where they're going to respond the best. That is our method. And we've seen that be really effective. So this falls right in line with all of that. As an organization and just as community people, we all have personal experience with somebody we know or someone in our family that is struggling with a mental health issue or a substance use issue, and they don't know where to go or they don't know how to ask for help. And we're trying to overcome that.
So in a way, then, when you get youth talking, for example, about this, you're saying when you're having issues yourself, don't try to self-medicate. Is kind of prevention is the key.
Exactly. And the danger we're having right now in the community, I don't know if you know, but Brevard County is right now one of the top counties in Florida for opioid and just drug related overdoses and overdose deaths. We're beating Orange and Miami-Dade, which is kind of crazy to think about that because of how big and metropolitan those areas are. Our rate is out of control with that. And youths are not getting a chance like they had in the past to maybe mess up and have mom or dad come in and sit them down and talk to them. With drugs like fentanyl, their first time can be their last time. And these aren't necessarily youths who have a pattern of being in trouble. We want to help save everybody, whether they were kids who have behavioral issues or not. But these are kids that are maybe just, they're at a party or they're sitting with friends and they're like, all right, this is going to be my one time to try something, kind of a rite of passage type of thing. And so many of them are not waking up. They're dying. And so all of this really, really fits together well, because the reason why they at times do this is for a mental health reason. The spectrum could be it could be something as simple as low self-esteem, or something as more acute as a diagnosable mental health issue. But for whatever it may be, they're not getting the help, they're not getting identified properly, and they're not necessarily seeing the proper coping mechanism. So a big thing with prevention is getting to them early before anything happens and giving them that outlet. And that's what this event really, really is helping us to do.
I see the other two, JT and Tara, both nodding vigorously. Do you want to jump in and comment on what Stanley just said, JT?
Yeah, it's just crazy, the numbers and the stats. Being in the NFL, there's a lot of stuff I deal with outside of the NFL. One being friends and family. This past year, I had 2 friends that, committed suicide related to mental health, and a lot of other people that I grew up with, like Stanley talked about, the opioid and fentanyl. That's like a huge problem right now. So, just every time I just hear about it, it does something to me mentally, because I actually know people that's dealt with these situations, and it hits a little different when, somebody that's going through or that has been through it. But I think, what we're doing, it's not like, it takes time, everybody's just not going to wake up one day and come out and talk, but I feel like what we're doing is a start, and it's a great start. That's really all I just think, if we continue one at a time to change one person's life at a time, over time, we'll get there.
I agree 100% with what JT just said, because we really are just giving them a platform, an availability, a space to where they feel safe to talk about those things. And one thing we're big on right now as a coalition is these alternative activities that they can get involved with that might build up their self-esteem, so they have another outlet to deal with stress or to deal with whatever may be going on in their lives. Personally, just to once again tag on what he said, my best friend died of an overdose in 2008 at the age of 25. And then flash forward a few years later, in 2012, my younger brother came from a good family, had no real reason necessarily to go left, so to speak, left or right, to deviate from a successful path. But he ended up getting kind of recruited by another individual in the community to go steal prescription drugs from a store. Was caught by the police, shot in the back by the police on the way out, and now he's paralyzed for the rest of his life at the age of 19, just about to turn 20 actually at that time. And so just seeing that happen in your family and seeing that happen in your friend circle, it kind of fueled my passion to say, man, we gotta find a way to reach these individuals and these families and give them the tools to kind of front load them with resources and protective factors, kind of using that shop talk, but that's what they call it. These protective factors, so that we can kind of mitigate the risk factors in the community that lead to that.
Yeah, and if I could piggyback off of that, I mean, just hearing the stories and Stanley, wow, that's a lot. For my push is like, that's why we need everybody to get involved in our communities, right? Because it might not be us with the problem or us with the issue, but by coming to this event, you can learn about how you can take that information to your home, to your family, to your friends, and share that with them. So this event is just not for people who may have addiction issues or mental health issues, but it's for everybody. Because like he said, we all know somebody or somebody's touched our lives that have these issues. And I feel like, you know, like you said, coming from a good family, it's not just an economical issue. It's not just a white or black issue in regards to races. It's a human issue. Like this is something real within our community and that's crossing all those lines, right? And so I think it's all, if we care about our human race and our community, we all need to do what we can to support this event, as well as be there and attend and help take this information back to our homes and to our bubbles.
And to mention the event again, March 11th, and it's at Gibson Youth Center Fields, Titusville, from 1 to 5. We also want to thank Parish Healthcare for being a huge sponsor. They have always been so community focused and will always be there and ready to collaborate with community partners. So we want to thank them for that. There'll be resource tables there. We'll have guest speakers coming in. We have wonderful entertainers lined up for music. Just really, really wanting just to be a very, very big community gathering so that everyone can connect, like Tara mentioned, to the resources, but also enjoy themselves and have a positive experience.
Is there a place online where people can look up the details?
Yes, we have a website, moveintolight.org. So if people want to attend, if they want to register their youths to play or to do the cheer camp, to do the football camp or the cheer camp, if people want to sign up as a vendor for community services, if they have community resources they want to share, if anyone wants to sponsor, all of that website, moveintolight.org.
Well, thanks for telling me about all of this. And we have a few minutes left that I just want to give to you for any final thoughts and or just, you know, reminders, if you will. JT, would you like to go first?
Yeah, I just want to say all around the table, I appreciate all of you guys and definitely, you know, the work that you guys do and the help within the community. You know, I'm looking forward to this event. Like Stanley said earlier, it's just creating those activities. I think that's the biggest thing also, because like it's so hard to get out and speak about our problems. But sometimes, you know, having, like, even for myself, like sometimes I have so many things I do, but one thing that I found recently that I like to do whenever I'm just going through stuff or thinking too much is just go play soccer. It's an activity I found. I mean, it's not gonna be for everybody, but just finding one or two things that when you're mad or angry or, you know, you're going through stuff at home or outside, that you could just get away for a little bit and then, you know, come back and then figure it out. But definitely looking forward to the event.
Kara?
Yes, ma'am. And I just want to say, just to remind, the event is free, FREE. So come on out, have a great time. JT got the boys back in the city. It's amazing his influence. Like he's bringing like 5 NFL buddies like to the camp. They're coming back for a second year, which says a lot. They're coming to Little Titusville, and JT's bringing that. And I think people need to realize how big that is, and it's it echoes of JT's, like they're coming for free. They're coming to be there to support and give what they can to the camp. And that speaks a lot of JT's character and how he builds relationship with these guys for them to come in and donate their, give their time, you know, back to the community. So I hope everybody comes out. I hope everybody taps into the website to support us in any way that they can. We've had so many people, everybody don't have the financial means, but everybody's giving what they can within our local community, which makes this such an even greater event. I just love the support and help that we're getting from our local community. So kudos to them.
And Stanley, anything you'd like to add?
I echo everything that JT and Tara just said. I really want people to come out to this to just have a positive time on a weekend for one, and also maybe walk away with just thoughts of hope, that hope is real, hope is there. They can talk about these things, and that it strengthens the family units, that it helps connect us with our resource providers in the community, our law enforcement in the community, our educators, And I want to thank all the people that are supporting it. And I want this to be the beginning. It's been going on for a couple of years now, but I want this to still be the beginning of something even bigger so that our community can keep going forward, knowing that addiction, mental health issues don't have to be the end of your story.
One more time, Smile from Within is taking place on March 11th, and you can learn more at moveintolight.org. My guests are Stanley Brizz, Executive Director and Addiction Counselor for Brevard Prevention Coalition, Tara Gibson with All Black Impact Foundation, and JT Hassell, NFL player and founder of the Hassell Foundation. I'm Beth Perrell.